Well, hey there, everybody. How y'all doing? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day or night, and welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Deluxe. All right, let's do another freaking Transformer review because I love some freaking Transformers. All right, today we're taking a look at Perfect Fusion Cesium. Cesium, I think that's how you say it. This is Fanstoys, but they had, they went under some different names and everything. So this is their version of a MP scale Dinobot Slag or Slug, whatever you want to call him. I call them Slag, but this is PF01 Perfect Fusion Toys. This is the reissue. This one came out, I think, around 2016, 2017, somewhere around that area. I skipped on it, really, because I had the original one they did. But I think this one is supposed to go, this was supposed to scale with the Grimlock from Takara. I wish that, Takara would have finished off the Dinobots. It would have been pretty cool. But I think this was supposed to scale with him. I think. I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was. But anyways, here is the box. Looks good. There you go. You got the alt mode and bot mode. And you got Perfect Fusion right there on the back. And all this good stuff right here. If you want to pause for the calls, if you can read that, you are more than welcome to. And there you go, right there and right there. All right, so let's get right to it. As always, hit those likes, shares, prayers, and care bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. It all helps out the channel. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. And also go to Show Z. And that's where I get most of my stuff. And buy some Transformers. Up the top, hit Deluxe 32. And definitely will help out the channel and everything. So everything. So yeah, let's go get right to it. And let's talk about some Perfect Fusion or Fanstoys and their Slag. All right. Let's go. All right, first things first, as always, we'll take a quick look what he comes with. So he comes with this nice little, battle card, nice thick credit card stock. Perfect Fusion 2025. This is what's on the back of the box. If you get to read that, if you want to pause for that, you can read that, and then also pause for that if you want to read that. And you do got some stats right there, which is pretty good. You do got some instructions, which shows everything he comes with and how to transform him. That's pretty cool. All right, first thing, you do get these replacement horns, which are well done, nicely painted. These are die cast, a little heavy, so that's really nice, but I love that glossy red to it. And then you got, these are the eyes different, so he comes with blue eyes, so you can switch out the plate for this nice chrome red if you want to do that. Like I said, he comes with horns that are silver right now. You do have a sword, which is nicely done. I love that red chrome, translucent red. Now both of these have batteries and everything. I'll show you in a second how you replace them and everything. You just unscrew it, and I'll show you what batteries take and everything. But there's that, and you got the gun, which is nicely done. Silver paint, very well done. You can unscrew that. You get replacement thighs and everything. These are, you take these apart right here, and then you just move these, like that, and you can switch those out, and I'll show you that in a second, or I'll show you on the instructions. And you get a replacement head, nicely done. Once again, that chromed red, the silver paint right there, looks really good. Now it tells you how to change the batteries out. Now the batteries it takes, LR66. I don't know if I have those or not. I have to check and see, but it'll take 2 pieces for each weapon. But there it shows you how to, unscrew it. You just unscrew the screws and you do that. And it also shows you how to replace the horns and the eyes and the thighs too if you want to as well. Awesome. So there you go. That is what he comes with. Alrighty, here is the Cesium, or their Slag. I'm just going to call him Slag from moving forward. In his bot mode, this is how he comes packaged. Most of the time, Fanstoys, does some weird stuff with their, to package them in to make them more compact and everything. But the only thing really is these little kind of wings he has on the back. So all you gotta do is just kind of open these up. So they do get in the way a little bit, quite a bit actually, with the arms. But you just spread those out, spread them like an eagle and everything, so you can move them out like that and everything. But here he is in his bot mode. Unfortunately, I don't have Scoria out. He is put up. He's been put up for a long time. But I'll put a picture up next to him or right there, like I normally do, have the comparisons and everything. This guy's actually a little bit taller than Scoria. Like I said, I don't have him out, but he is a little bit taller than Scoria was and everything. So there you go. All right, so here is the head sculpt. Looks pretty good. Got the nice blue visor, silver paint right there. Tons of chrome. You got this gray plastic. You do got some paint inside of the wings, which is really cool. I like that, to bring out some details, sculpt work and everything like that. You are going to get, fingerprints, smudges on there. Just be careful. You've got a little cloth or something, you can wipe that off. But you got gold chrome, silver, tons of that. Like I said, you got some red paint right here, gunmetal silver, and throughout right here. Silver legs right here with the green. And you got the nice smoky gray, kind of a translucent over some more painted details and everything. That's really nice. Some gold chrome down here. Thing like you can get some smudges. Here is the back. Once again, tons of chrome. Nice sculpt work right here with the paint. I like that. There you go. Got the tail. Now these are supposed to tab in right here. Be careful, if you don't want to, scratch up your chrome. But they're supposed to tab in. They don't tab in the best. They will come and lose quite a bit. But just be careful. You don't want to scratch up your chrome and everything. Just be careful. You got this little back piece right here, which is not bad. This is pretty tight. So I like that. So it kind of floats up and everything to get out of the way. So there you go. All right. So we'll go over articulation real quick. With the head, so you got this, so it moves right here, a little side to side, but this little back piece right here moves too, so it gives a little more. So you can get right there like that. Nothing really, a little bit, nothing really. No, nothing up or down, which really sucks. You do have this piece right here. This does move, this whole section, so it can look up a little bit, but it does break up the sculpt. But you do have that option, so mainly just side to side and everything like that. Like I said, the wings are on a little hinges right here. You can move them back. Like I said, this does get in the way, but you do have nice ratchets, and you get about right there, almost a full 90. And then you can go all the way around. Well, actually, I'm sorry, not all the way around, just about right there. Then you're gonna start hitting stuff. This right here, you got little flaps. These are little hinges right here, like that, like there. You got the nice horns, all that good stuff. So you go about, not all the way around. You got about 90 degrees for the elbow bend, and you got a bicep swivel, which is nice. You do got a swivel hand, and you do have articulation with all of the fingers. There's a ball peg, and you got a bend at the knuckle, and you get 1, 2 bends right here for the, get one at the base and one in the middle, and they all do move freely. Independently, so that's pretty good. Nothing really spread out or anything like that. So you get the little slappers, little slap, 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 slap. This is, it does have die cast, quite a bit of die cast. There's die cast right here. There's die cast on the leg, so it's got a, great weight to it, just like the original Dinobots did. All right, we'll move this out of the way. You do have a ratcheted waist, and you do have a nice little ab crunch. Like I said, you can kind of look up, but not really. Like I said, it starts breaking out the sculpt, so it kind of defeats the purpose of the ab crunch. You got tensioned, with the legs. You get the Van Damme all day, every day. But mine don't really, it's too heavy. There's too much die cast. I tried to screw, tighten that little, there's still screws right here. And it wouldn't tighten in there, so it's tight as it can be. So unfortunately mine does not hold its, weight and everything. So that kind of sucks, but kick up to about right there, not the full, and only back there. So not much for the leg. You do get a thigh swivel, 90 degrees for the knee bend and everything. It does hold. I got the QC right there, sticker as always. Like I said, those don't stay in that well. You got toe tilt down a little bit, toe tilt up, and you got a little rocker, not much. I wish it was a little bigger, but it kind of runs into right there. So there's that. All right, like I said, here's the back and everything. Just wish these little tabbed in a little better. They don't tab in the best. All right, there you go. There's articulation of the bot mode. All right, so we're going to quickly go over accessories and everything. I'm not going to change out anything as far as, as far as the face, and you can change out the thighs and the horns. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But with the gun, like I say, you just unscrew this, and it takes LR66 batteries. Fortunately, I do not have them, and you just basically just an old style everything with that. You just tab in. There's a little slot right here in the hand, and you can fit the finger through the trigger right there, and you just kind of got to line it up right there. and he will hold it just fine. So that's good. And same thing with the sword. Once again, it does have a little on and off button. You just unscrew these right here, and then you place the batteries in. And with this, same thing. You just tab it in right here, and you can close the fingers around it. Very nice. I love the chrome and everything like that. All right, so like I said, the thighs, I'm not going to change them out. You can do, you know, like this. I think it is like this or something like that. I may have it wrong, but kind of get it like that. But there's the difference. Like I said, just black with green. You can change that out if you want to. But the thing is, you got to take off all of the leg, and I just don't want to do that. I like the silver. You know, it's fine. I like the paint and everything. So with the face, so to be cartoon accurate, you actually had to have the red face with the blue visor. I may do that off camera, but what you're going to do is you're going to take this off right here, and this is how you change out the eye colors for the Dino mode if you want to. I showed you the red. If you want to switch off, you know, the red, you can do that. That's pretty cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to unscrew this back here, the head, and if you know, replace it. I'm going to do that off camera to have it more of a toon character like that. And also with the horns. So you got right here. So basically what you're going to do is once you take the head off, you unscrew that, take the head off, there is 2 screws back here, one on this side and one on this side. You've got to unscrew that and then screw this into that if you want to change out to the red, you know, horns and everything. So that's how you do that. And I think that's it. So like I said, I'm going to do that off camera. Like I said, you just take that off. You just unscrew back right here, and you can take it apart, and you can change it out. You can have it if you want to. You can leave it like this, or you can, you know, do this with the. You can do this with the red one, you know, so forth. Just have fun with it. But yeah, there you go. That is what you can do with his accessories. All right, so there's MP44 Optimus Prime. You got X-Transbots Bulkhead. You got DX9 Sideswipe, Takara Sideswipe, and then you got Tis McGee Ratgar. And there's some scale for you. He's a big fella. Like I said, I do have the changed out the head to be more a little toon accurate. So there you go. And Crapagonics, Crappy Tool Paper, AAA Battery, Carmex, Care Bears, Kicker, and Squeaks. More scale. All right, back transformation. Here is Potato-Bot or Slag and everything. It's not a hard transformation at all by any means, but it's a pain in the taint. I had to take it off camera just to tab everything because this piece right here has to go like this right here, has to go underneath this plastic. So plastic rubbing on plastic is not the greatest thing. Also, when doing these two, you have to, underneath and, get that underneath, just do that. So that was a pain in the taint. And trying to line this up, see, it's not even the perfect, I can't even tab that together. Underneath, see, that's already fell through. It's not going. You're going to have a gap because if you try to tab everything underneath like that, you're going to start untabbing everything on top, which really sucks. So I'd just rather just leave it like that because you can't even see it anyways. But yeah, having to get this tabbed and everything and all lined up really was a pain in the taint. And be careful with when you're switching the head around for dyno mode. It's going to scrape up against the dyno head. So just be aware of that, trying to, not scratch up the chrome and everything. So that, like I said, it's not a hard transformation, just a pain in the taint to do everything, to get everything lined up. If you got like a cloth or something, you can wipe off the fingerprints if you want to. But overall, it looks pretty good. Like I said, he is Potato. I like it. I love the chrome. It looks really good. Chrome throughout. Love the paint right here for the details to bring that out. That really pops. That really looks good. So and everything. And then on the back, you got the smoky gray. Once again, covering that up. Head sculpt looks really good. Once again, the chrome looks nice. So as far as articulation, you can go, side to side. I'm sorry, side to side a little bit, not much, and a little swivel right there. So that's pretty good. You can open the mouth and close it if you want to. The horns do move a little bit too as well. All right, moving on to the legs. So you have a nice ratchet like that, and you got a little in and out like that. You do got a bend at the knee and a bend at the toe. These are die cast. He does have die cast throughout. Very nice weight to it. On the back legs, they're on a ball peg, so you can go out to there. Wiggle right there. That's nice. All right. Oh, I forgot you can move this too as well a little bit, and you can move these too for that thing right there. And for the legs, you got the nice ratchet right here, and you got a bend right here like that, and the toe will bend too. So you got 3 points articulation right there, and the tail just moves a little bit right there. That's about it. And like I said, got some nice details and everything. As far as accessories, the only thing really you can change out the legs. I'm sorry, not the legs, the eyes. Like I said, you just lift up that piece and you change out the red if you want to, and also the red horns if you want to do that. Like I said, you have to unscrew it, all that good stuff. But yeah, there you go. Like I said, not a hard transformation, just a pain in the taint trying to get everything lined up, and you have to do plastic on plastic and scraping, which is not really fun. But there you go. There is Potato-Bot. Oh, real quick, let me put a picture of Scoria next to him if you want to, do the comparisons and everything. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't have mine out right now, but there's a little comparison. And real quick, there is Hot Rod from Alternators. I'll throw in Brawl from Magic Square. Man, we got Vortex coming out pretty soon. I'm really excited for that. Here's Fanstoys Jazz. Fanstoys. And since I have him out, I'll throw this little guy in. Here's Magic Square and their little Slag too as well. So there you go. There's some scale for you. Well, hey there, everybody. If you made this far, as always, I freaking appreciate that. All right, final thoughts on this is Perfect Fusion. This is Cesium. This is their, Dinobot Slag or Slug, whichever you want to call them. Everybody knows this is Fanstoys. They've gone on some other names, Robot Paradise, they did some stuff, but I think this is the only one that they did under the Perfect Fusion one. I think, was it Cyclonus, I think was supposed to come out as him, or as that too, but they decided to put it under Fanstoys, and Robot Paradise has done some stuff as well. But I think this was the only one. I wonder why they didn't go off with the other Dinobots to do that. I'm sure somebody knows in the comments. That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, overall, I like him. He's pretty cool. The biggest issues I really have is transformation, especially with the, the plastic, rubbing on plastic, with the back. Trying to get everything lined up is a pain in the taint. It's not a hard transformation, but it's just trying to get everything lined up. And, underneath, it's just going to be a little gap, but that's fine. I don't care. As long as everything, tabs up here. But getting everything, you got the rubbing on plastic right here and up here. And then also rubbing when you're trying to turn the head around too as well. So just be careful with that. The bot mode looks good. Love the chrome. Looks really nice. Just make sure you got like a paper towel or something like that, or kind of a like if you have stuff to wipe your glasses, you can clean off the fingerprints and everything. Just make sure you got that, because you are going to get fingerprints on him and everything. Bot mode's pretty good. I love all the accessories. How you can customize. You got different head. That's pretty cool. Different horns, which are die cast. You got the gun. Everything is painted. Really nice. You can use. You have battery too if you want the light up effects. That's awesome. Different thighs. So you can kind of customize it, and that's pretty cool to make it, for tune or toy deco. That's really nice. Articulation is pretty lacking on the bot mode, and my thigh and my legs don't really hold up. It's really heavy because they got die cast on the legs and everything. But it's kind of limited, which I don't really care for Dinobots. They're kind of a big brute, kind of robots and everything. So the articulation's doesn't have to be the greatest for them. It's a plus if it is. But if it's not a big deal, because they just basically just stand there and just whoop some ass. That's all they do. But anyways, like I said, transformation there. Paint is pretty decent. Like I said, I love throughout. You got the details and sculpt and everything, and they paint it. That's really cool. And inside the wings in bot mode, that's awesome. That's a nice little touch. They didn't have to do that, but it kind of brings that out. I like how it pops with that. Like I said, I love the chrome. Materials feel good. The plastic feels fine. It's kind of different from like I said, this is older. This is the reissue. You don't know by now. They've had a lot of other stuff come out since then, but the plastic feels fine. The gray paint and the paint and all that stuff, or the gray plastic and everything. So yeah, overall, he looks like he's supposed to. Like I said, I usually display my Dinobots in bot or alt mode, so he fits it just right. He looks like a little potato, and I like that. So I hope you like my review. Hit me up some likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Hit me up some comments. Tell me about the review. Is anybody getting this guy? If you missed out on the first one, if you missed out on Scoria, you can try to get this guy. That'd be pretty cool. I got this from Chosen Prime, so if you want to go ahead over there and try to get one, that'd be cool. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next Transformer review. As always, be good to yourself, man. Hell freaking Transformers and hell freaking Fanstoys. And follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, and go buy some stuff at Show Z. Use Deluxe 32 at the top. It really helps out the channel. And good night, folks.